is not even just about McCarthyism and communism of the 1940s and 50s. This goes back to Reconstruction, and me and you have had these conversations, Don. Reconstruction period is what gives us the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. It gives us Barack Obama. It gives us the context for me and you to have positions that we hold in society. But there was also this other side of Reconstruction, and that was called redemption. That's the Redeemer South, the South of not just the Klan and violence, but the South of mythology and myth-making. There's a Columbia University historian called Archibald Dunning, who started a whole school of history that just presented lies about American history, half-truths about American history, that was embodied by everyone from President John F. Kennedy to average Americans. And what we see in the 1960s is really a pushback of the civil rights era, the era of racial justice, Black power. And now in 2022, after the racial political reckoning of 2020, we see millions of white Americans wanting to know that truth, right? They want to know about Tulsa. They want to know about racial slavery. They want to know about structural racism. And to have a kind of law like this, state by state, and really not all the states have done this. We're setting ourselves up as sort of two different countries, separate, hostile, and unequal, like the Kerner Commission report said in 1968. But this banning of Black history, this banning of Native American history, this banning of Jewish history and the Holocaust and anti-Semitism and anti-Black racism is profoundly un-American. It's a tragic turn for the worse. We've been here before, Don. I believe this is America's third Reconstruction, and we're once again caught between battle between redemptionists and reconstructionists.
But what it really is, all of it is America. That is a history of America. All of those things that you mentioned about the Holocaust, about Native Americans, about African American history, that is American history. Listen, Megan, I know that you are in New Hampshire, but New Hampshire is not isolated here. There is the proposed discomfort bill in Florida. Virginia Governor Youngkin's tip line for parents to complain about teachers, that is open. Why do white people get the option to avoid history that might make them feel uncomfortable?
That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, all we really want to do, and it is all over, as you're saying, we're not unique in New Hampshire. All we want to do is be teaching honest history. I taught U.S. history, social studies in 8th grade for 18 years. And something I told my kids every year was we have to learn the past so that we don't repeat it in the future. And unfortunately, we are being stifled from teaching honest American history. The history of America is not always pretty, but we still have to teach it. We still have to learn from it so that we don't have the same things happening in the future. Part of this law that's so scary is that you can have your teaching credentials taken away. You can have your license taken away from you. And just like in Virginia with the tip line, we have a website on our Department of Education website where parents or anybody can anonymously put in that they heard something was happening in a classroom. That then has to get investigated, but still drags an educator through the whole process of their reputation being questioned and everything else. And it's really just not right. There was actually Moms for Liberty tweeted out in November when this was put on the website that they were giving $500 to anybody who caught a teacher doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. So they pretty much put a bounty on teachers' heads for this.
Here we are. Megan Peniel, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So he says that the NFL is